There we are. We had no sound. Sound! Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm happy to be here. Welcome to Ask the Shaman. I'm your host, Anthony Golden Sunshine. It's a beautiful Thursday, December 14th. Let's see what's going on. Doomsday Crochet. It's 8:01. Well, I'm on Shaman time. I get here when I need to. 8:02. Now it's 8:04. And we got the sound. Well, welcome, Sacred Beholder. Excuse me. And Nardu. What do you guys want to talk about today? What's on your mind? Let's talk about life. I've had just a really great few days. Tuesday, I got to the end of my shaman training class with my next group, and I've initiated 8 more priests into the world. So I'm really excited about that. 8 more medicine keepers into the world, medicine people, really exciting. I'll probably be starting the second round soon. Depends what my guidance kind of tells me. But it's almost time, I believe, to start the second round of training. Also, yesterday we had a really cool session out at a new store called Trippy Hippie in Amherst on Telegraph Road. Cool little store. They have all kinds of cool little things in there, and I recommend go check it out. The energy there is just amazing. It feels great. So that's been pretty cool. Tonight, we're going to be at Sacred Waters, North Homestead. So anybody local wants to come hang out, do some breath work, some sound healing, some energy work, some community, come on out, see us tonight, 7 p.m., 7 p.m., 30111 Lorraine Road. That's going to be at Sacred Waters. Yeah. 1 million Buddhas. Good morning, Buddha. Jasper, I have not been getting out in the sun nor my feet in the grass due to the cold weather. I can feel the difference. Well, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if it's cold. Go out there. The cold's actually good for you. Okay, Jasper, get out there. All right, get out there as soon as you can. Rip off your socks. I go out in no shirt, just my shorts. I go outside. I mean, it's cold, but it's okay. You can last 3-4 minutes at least. And I go outside and then I do some qigong, some body movement. I breathe. I touch my trees. This is like a daily thing. I do this every day. You don't have to spend tons of time. You know, your intention to be there, you're connecting with the earth, you're connecting with your breath, you're getting some fresh air, you're getting the sun. Those things are all important. And even deeper, if you can get out into nature. I try to get out into nature nearly every day. Here or there, I might not, but most of the time, almost every day. I find time that I make it out. There's so many cool parks around. I go to one of the parks for, even if it's 20 minutes just to walk around the dog or something. Even if it's I walk around my neighborhood. I live in a pretty nice area where there's lots of like land and trees and stuff. So, that's kind of gets out into nature too. You're just getting out, you're moving, very important. And then, you'll start feeling a lot better. Like you said, I can feel the difference. I'm sure you can. Now, what you do is you just use that awareness. There's your awareness. And this is where you can begin to help yourself. Your awareness is, I feel the difference. I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm aware of that. Next is taking control of your breath. Put in reinstalling in your mind, I'm here. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to do my good self-care because I deserve it and I love myself. Okay. I love myself. I'm going to show up for my self-care. And you start implanting this and then try to show up for your self-care, of course. You'll start instilling a positive feedback loop. It's possible. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Brianna. Doomsday crochet. If you have access to ground level, you can stick metal wire out your window, plant it deeply in the ground, then tie the other end to your big toe. This is how I sleep. How amazing. You don't really need to. You have the ability to two ways. Okay. So I'm a shaman, so I'll share with you these energy truths. One is you can actually ground with being in an airplane. And this is because all energy is one living energy. There's no actual separation. So you could be anywhere and have your intention to ground your energy to the planet. If that's not something you're quite developed yet enough to do, just going outside with your bare feet for 3 to 5 minutes a day can be very, very helpful. And a big thing that it does is it can move the hydrogen atoms on the surface of the cells, actually alkalizing your blood for a period of time. So those are those. They also, of course, they always make, machines and things. They make things. They have, there's grounding sheets that you can put on your bed that are grounded outside and all those things. I mean, if you want to use those things, I don't think it hurts. But, most people aren't into doing that. So it's not something you have to do. What you want to do, what you have to do is you have to get yourself outside and ground yourself, all times a year. You have to just get out there, kick shoes off. I know it's cold. It feels so. Last night I was standing outside with the dog because I go out multiple times a day. And I was just standing outside with the dog with no shoes on in the grass. And the grass was crispy and starting to freeze. We don't have any snow on the ground right now, but even when it does, you'll see me outside shoveling my driveway in my my swim trunks. So yeah, get on out, and it will. And you said it helps decrease my pain and inflammation dramatically. Yes, it will if you're grounding yourself. So now start using some of these new things, Doomsday Crochet. Get out there and put your hands on a tree. And then what you're going to do is you're going to exchange your energy with the tree. Put your hands on the tree. And then what you're going to do is use your intention to feed the tree your heavy energy. Any anger, rage, upset feelings, anything heavy at all, you're going to give it to the tree. And if you don't happen to have any in that moment, I want you to generate some. Feed it to the tree and let it send down into the roots. And now, depending on which way of healing you need, do you need physical healing or do you need more like emotional kind of uplifting energy healing? That will depend from which way you draw from the tree. So if you need more kind of like physical pain healing, you have inflammation in your body and you start there, you can draw the energy up from the earth through the root system and into your hands, into your body. When I'm doing that, I'm repairing my cells. And then if you want to, you could do either or both. I draw the light energy from the upper world down the branches of the tree, down through the trunk and into me. And what does this do? This illuminates everything, and very helpful for me to release different sorts of imprints and things, more mental medicine. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Yes, I seen the movie. I can't remember if it was called Grounded. Maybe. Lots of new things happening since our class got over. Oh, like what, Brianna? Talk about that. You can ground with meditation. When I'm sleeping, I'm not conscious, though. Well, I think you're missing the point. Meditation is training for you to make the unconscious conscious. So the truth is you're always grounded. Always. We're always grounded in our field. It's just if you're not aware of it, it's not going to work the same way. So you can become, you don't need to be in a meditative state. You can just set the intention, because wherever you set your intention is where your attention goes. And whenever your attention goes, your energy flows. Mm-hmm. Wire out the window costs nothing. Well, it could. Wire's not free. You know what is free? Taking off your shoes and walking outside. I heard that it takes 2 seconds to change your pH. I'm not sure about the time. You know, I think that's maybe possible. I don't know. I'd have to do the research. I can either confirm or deny, Jill. It doesn't sound impossible. That's what I feel. Mm-hmm. I do the Hera alignment meditation from Barbara Brennan. It brings me into resonance with the Earth's core. I have no idea what that means, but cool. If it makes you feel good, do it. I still have pain, though. I know. I'm trying to help you understand why. This has to do with your incessant thinking. I was just putting my hands on a tree and putting my feet on the ground and using my intention fixed all my problems, but it doesn't. Oh, it does. You just don't know how to use it yet. I can help you learn if you want to learn. But what you got to do is first, I wish just putting my hands on it. So that's just all negative talk. You don't want to use that. That's not going to help you. So what you want to do is put that around like, oh, I understand if I learn how to properly use energy medicine, that's going to change my life. It will. Absolutely. It's changed mine. I've come from terminal lung disease, and 17 other incurable conditions. So I know a lot about this, but that's only if you want to change. Some people are identified, they like their problems. They say they don't want their problems, but without their problems, are you okay with being without your problems? Because the thing is they're not problems. They're actually opportunities to grow. It's about how you frame your wording, the way you use words, the way that you use the language to yourself. And that's where be impeccable with your word really is important. Talking about the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, and he talks about those things. Are you okay without toxic positivity? I don't know what that means. So those are usually people who are toxically negative, are calling other people toxic, just like it's usually narcissists calling other people narcissists. So I don't get on board with that. That's toxic behavior to me. I don't know what toxic positivity is. Just be positive. Use your mind to be in a positive. You don't have to name it. That's the ego that names things. It's toxic, non-toxic, this and that. It's energy. Get everything to flow through energy. So, yeah, there's lots I can help you to learn. There's a lot that you can learn yet. Okay. I don't know about that. Let's be kind. Okay. I don't want to have to remove anyone because that's what happens. Okay. So what other questions we got going for today? What do we got? What's happening? I have a couple of things I can kind of talk about here. Should be pretty good. So I'll talk a little bit here while I wait for you to pop up with any questions or comments. And what I'm going to talk about is the benefits of sound healing, meditation, and breath work. And these are mostly the things. We'll see you later, Doomsday Crochet. We won't be putting up with any crap in here. We're just going to, move along. Sound healing. So stress reduction. Harmonious sounds can induce a state of relaxation, reducing stress and promoting a sense of calm. So sound healing is a very powerful modality, something that Mary has become exceedingly efficient at. I use it as well. I use tuning forks and things in my healings, and a crystal pyramid, and some bells, a rattle. I use some different types of tools in sound healing. And then I also have other things that I use, like hemispherical syncing sounds and things like that. Good morning, Lulu. Good morning, Lynn Ramsey. Lynn Ramsey. Lulu. Love you, Lulu. Glad you're here. So let's see, where was I? Enhanced mood. So I have like just 5 points here on this. Enhanced mood. Hound healing. Well, hounds are healing too. Sound healing may uplift mood, contribute to emotional well-being and balance. I can agree to that. So something pretty amazing that sound healing can do is certain frequencies, they permeate your body and your cells, and they can begin to change the way your cells are up regulating proteins and things like that. It also can balance out the left and right hemispheres of the brain through fluid movement. Improve sleep. Regular sessions of sound healing can support better sleep patterns and quality of rest. Indeed. Increase mindfulness. Focused attention on sound helps cultivate mindfulness, promoting presence and awareness. And then 5 is balance, energetic balance. Sound vibrations are believed to align and balance the body's energy centers. Word. So who here has experienced energy healing or sound healing, sound energy healing before? Man, I got the craziest bed beard this morning. Look at that thing. It's crazy. I was doing some light research. I find it very interesting that light is both waves and particles. Yeah, before it's a particle, it's a wave. Everything's a wave before it's a particle. So the waves come in. It is through, if you learn about the double slit experiment, I'm not sure if you have yet, what you'll find out is everything is a wave until it is observed. So we literally are creators of reality because it's our observation that gives form. We are the ones that create form. There isn't actually form. Our nervous system creates that awareness. So people say, well, how come everyone else can see it? Because no one's separate. It's all one thing. We think that we're separate from everything. Oh, we're not. It's all one thing. And so we can actually connect energetically to everything around us. This happens. My favorite way is just gratitude. I give gratitude to all the stuff around me right here. And then it loves me too. I like that though. Light research. Yeah, it is. It can exist in more than one form. Yeah. I have with you and Mary. Cool. How'd you like it? I just woke up feeling anxious. Well, you should slow your breath down right away. Get yourself right into some breath. Yes, sound healing is great. It's helped my back pain. Yeah, everything's sound, technically. Everything's a vibration. For me, that's kind of how I started observing energy in the first place before I could see. What I did is I could hear, and I still hear. I could hear all different sorts of energy. Since I was a child, I've been able to hear things, all kinds of different kinds of frequencies and things. Like I would be able to tell if like the television's on, even if the screen isn't on. I can tell if the television's on from across the house when I was a child. My parents like, how do you know that? I'm like, I can hear it. It has a sound. It has a frequency. I can feel it. Yeah. Sound healing can take me on a journey. It sure can. You know, it's the cool thing about sound healing is it's so different from practitioner to practitioner. And the more seasoned and energetically aligned the practitioner is, the more I watch, because I can see energy. So I watch the way that they channel and they can move it through the bowls. Mary's absolutely amazing to me. I've watched many different sound healers. Something about her particular channel is so amazing and powerful. It's very Pachamama, very earth energy, very beautiful, very grounding kind of experience. Whereas I breathe and take you into the stratosphere. So she can ground you. We're good at getting you going in both directions, which is necessary to kind of pull apart some of the stuck energy. Awesome. Illuminating. So that's sound healing. So second is meditation. We're going to talk about meditation. If you're a meditator, I would love for you to leave a comment, say something about meditation. Yes, I can, Christina. Let me get to that. I'll get to that next. These are some of the things that help me. Okay. is sound healing, meditation, and breath work. So I'll talk about these three things first. Stress relief. Okay, so meditation, it can bring stress relief. Meditation is renowned for its ability to alleviate stress, promoting a sense of inner peace. Yes, I fully agree. Good morning, Alana. Um, Definitely, that was one of the major things that helped me. Now, I had a really hard time meditating at first. I couldn't shut my mind off, which I didn't know I wasn't supposed to try to shut my mind off. I was just going by what some other fool told me, other people who don't know how to meditate. Um, and, really, you're just supposed to sit there quiet. And a really strong thing to do for most people to begin their meditation is becoming aware of the breath. Now, there are some people who are really already have a really strong interoception, the inner feelings of their body. So doing that may bring anxiety for them. So if I work with someone, this isn't common, but it does happen. What we do instead of having, because we call that interoception when you're bringing inner body awareness, what we'll do for someone that's having a lot of anxiety going in their body, we'll have them focus on something exterior. I'll have you focus on a picture or a feather or something. I'll have you focus on something and then bring all of your attention there. And it's like you begin to breathe and you're zoning out and connecting with it. And imagining you can feel it. Like right now I'm doing it with this feather. I have this big turkey feather over here that I'm looking at. And then what I do is I can begin to watch my breath. And while I was watching my breath, I'm imagining I can feel the feather in my hands and my fingers. I can feel the quill. I can feel all the little tiny pieces of the feather. I can feel its texture. And now what you're doing is this is like an externalized meditation where you're working on exteroception. And that can be very helpful for some people. The vast majority of people, it's about going in, closing your eyes, and just bringing your awareness to your breath. And you're not really have to do anything with it. I like to make my breath deep and slow. I just watch the breath. I don't try to do anything with it. I just kind of watch it and see where it's going. A really powerful tool is to do a really strong breathwork practice before you sit down for meditation. This primes the nervous system and puts you right in a perfect position psychologically for meditation. Okay, so improve focus. Regular meditation enhances concentration, leading to increased mental clarity. Correct. There's all kinds of science that shows that. I think I posted something the other day that regular meditators' brains on average look 7.5 years younger than non-meditators' brains. Just some little random medical kind of thing there. Next is emotional well-being. Totally. So you're learning how to access your parasympathetic state. That's the beautiful thing about meditation is the learning of, and this is something I'm really big about, is helping human beings access their parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. This is a very powerful tool for that. Slowing everything down, slowing your breath. You can get really good. You can slow your heart rate down, lower your blood pressure. It's really cool. The more work you do with it, it's a practice. So the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Okay. Enhance self-awareness. Meditation fosters self-reflection, aiding in the development of greater self-awareness. Totally right. So you're not, instead of the incessant thinking, being outside all the time, you can really become aware of how you're thinking. Right? Becoming aware of what is it, because this is awareness. These are the 3 points of the 3 pillars of change in which I always profess and give to other people is awareness. Awareness. If you have awareness of how you're thinking, then you can make changes of it. If you have no awareness of your thoughts and how they're bringing you into disempowerment, then there's nothing you're going to change. First is the awareness, and then breath. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Slow your breath down. Wherever your breath is, you're slowing it down. And then you're installing new self-talk. Okay. So very, very powerful for helping you to reprogram the mind. Better sleep. A consistent meditation practice can contribute to improved sleep quality and duration. I totally agree to that. I had insomnia for 28 years. I once went 22 days without a wink of sleep. And according to the medical books, you're only supposed to live 11 days. So I doubled that. After about day 7, you start to hallucinate, which is nothing like spiritual vision. This is total breakdown of the brain. You can't trust anything, really. It's kind of creepy. But I had a hard time because of my incessant thinking, the incessant running mind, being able to slow down to sleep. And now it's pretty easy. I just drop into my breath. I've trained my breath. Your breath, if you train it every day, you're training your nervous system to respond to your command. So I can just within a few breaths really calm myself down, even if I have a racing mind when I get in bed, and I can fall asleep. So it's fantastic. Tell me about your meditation. What kind of meditation do you do? I'd love to hear about it. Like Jill says, I agree. I have found that breathwork prior to meditating helps quiet my brain more. Yeah, not only that, you're priming your brain. You're pushing blood, lymph, cerebral spinal fluid into the brain, activating the pineal gland. You're creating a bunch of pre-activation for your meditation to be more effective. Because your biggest growth doesn't happen during the breathwork session or while you're on the yoga mat or while you're doing the meditation. It happens when what you grow, what you cultivate from your practice spills over into your normal life. And then when the conflict of your life arises, you have the tools to be able to kind of skate through it. Gosh, this beard's crazy this morning. Every time I look up, it's got some weird stuff going on. I got this strange kind of really curly kind of beard, but it's perfect. It picks up frequency like you wouldn't believe. That's why I grew it. I could start to, like Spirit said, start to grow the hair on your face more. So I did. And as my beard started to grow, I could start to feel energy through my face. And I became aware that each one of us, the bone structure around our face, our eyes, our nose, our forehead, all that stuff is like an instrument and takes in energy. So you're built perfectly, even if you don't believe you are. So great. I found breathwork to be helpful. I've been using meditation for observance and creation of possibilities lately. You absolutely can, but that is typically not the first place a person starts with meditation. That's a little bit more of an advanced meditation, right? When I first started meditating, I just would sit still and overthink. I thought it was thinking. And it's not about thinking. It's about being aware of what the thoughts are and not being attached to them. But for observance, yeah, very powerful. And creation of possibilities, opening yourself up. I do my breathing work because of my busy mind. Works great for me to get into my meditation state. I agree. Me too. Plus, like I was saying, all of there's tons of benefits to it. I believe that meditation every day has helped me to be able to respond more often as opposed to react. I agree. I am so glad Tom introduced me to you guys because I could not sleep either because of my mind. It will go crazy at night, nonstop. Now I sleep like a baby. If I don't do it, I sure can tell. Cool. I love that. I love that. I mean, it's a whole new world if you go from not being able to sleep to being able to sleep. Holy smokes. It was the most, I remember when I first started being able to sleep and it was like heaven. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't felt myself sleep in years. That's how it felt. Like it was something totally new. It was amazing. Okay. Breath work. All right. So this is the third. So sound healing, meditation, and breath work. Those are 3 primary pillars in which Mary and I work in our online events and in our in-person events. However, we do other things too, but these are 3 primary pillars. Okay. And so breath work, again, is stress reduction. Breath work techniques activate the body's relaxation response, reducing stress levels. Right. So in a really kind of layman's terms, they explain what I'm always explaining. You access your parasympathetic nervous system. This is your relaxation response. And this is key. This is very key for all of us and our healing. That's why breath work is so powerful, because it helps you to access the parasympathetic nervous system faster than anything else I know. Even for untrained individuals, people who are just new to breathing. Usually I can get them moving 10 breaths and they already start to tingle and their body feels different. They're already shifting their conscious awareness. Let's do that right now. Let's see how it works, okay? But you got to bring your awareness down to your belly. The whole idea is to use the diaphragm. You're going to breathe in through your nose and fill up your belly, then your chest, not the other way. Don't suck in your tummy and raise your chest. If you're doing that, that's an inverted breathing pattern. You really need to work on that. Most humans have that. So you're bringing all of your awareness into your belly, and you let your belly expand and your belly contract. Fill it up into your chest and contract and up. So I yawned. That's a good sign. I already attenuated frequency up my vagus nerve. That's what causes the yawn. Big breath into your head. Belly, chest, head like a wave. Powerful. Up. Up. 3 more up into your head. 2 more. Last one. Hold this breath. Hold. Squeeze into your chest and your throat and your head. Squeeze. Squeeze your tailbone, your belly. Squeeze up. Release. And there you go. I want you just to feel what you feel. Just those few breaths, I've already totally shifted my awareness, shifted my energy. I can feel everything flowing around me, really soft now. My third eye is wide open. I'm open and ready to receive. It's strong and amazing. And I moved around some mucosa. Please excuse me. There we go. Yeah, so just 10 breaths like that. You know, I recommend doing some more. I recommend like 20 to 30 breaths, you know, about 3 rounds at least a day. And that will begin to change things. So right there, just doing that begins to eliminate your stress response and turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. So I'll show you one of the best breathing patterns for bringing yourself into relaxation. And this was studied in depth by Dr. Andrew Huberman in his laboratory. If you don't know Dr. Andrew Huberman, check him out. I always lead people to him. He's a great teacher. But what it is it's called the physiological sigh. So do you know, like, you know, when you see a kid or when you were a kid and you go to cry, you make, or an animal may go, like there's several layers to the breathing. Well, that's a physiological sigh. That's the body's natural way of turning on the parasympathetic nervous system. So for you to access it, it's pretty easy. It's 2 sniffs. You're doing a double sniff of your breath. And I start, the first sniff fills up the belly. The second one, the chest and head, and out with a sigh. So it's like a big sniff, another sniff, out with a sigh. Sniff, big sniff, out with a sigh. There you go. I can feel all of my capillaries open, my nitric oxide's raising in my bloodstream, my dopamine's opening. Everything's starting to change there. So very powerful. Faith says, I learned to meditate by imagining a lava ball like the sun in my chest. And then I would imagine I was the little sun and how it feels to be round. Hey, that sounds fun. I had no idea what meditation really was. Eventually where you want to lead is to the void, where there's absolute nothingness. This is the deepest form of brainwave rate, when it's like you're just in outer space. It's you go in and there's nothing but space. That took about 3 weeks after I first started breathing. I started to be able to go into my inner space, and then was afraid, because I was afraid I was going to come out of my body and not come back. I started to notice really nice feeling, and then I would sit in that. Cool. The mind activity in that kind of meditation. I'd recommend trying other things too. There's many different ways to train your neurology, but ultimately you want to, the hardest part of meditation is allowing yourself to completely slip into the void, letting go of all of your awareness and consciousness whatsoever. I definitely love just lying on the ground And that breath is just like being rocked to rest. Revitalization makes me feel energized, if even just for 10 minutes. How beautiful. That's perfect. That's perfect. Enhanced focus. Breath work can also bring enhanced focus. Mindful breathing practices improve concentration and cognitive function. This has been proven in many different scientific studies about how it can affect your cognitive function. And one of the things they know mostly about it is how it moves the fluid into your brain. So, you're mostly fluid, and you have cerebrospinal fluid and some other things that are responsible. Your fluid in the brain. I'm not saying water on the brain like encephalitis. I'm saying fluid, the internal fluid dynamics of the brain. When they see those things improve, they see marked improvement in cognitive ability. What we don't realize is like cognitive decline disease is a really real thing, a big thing, and that the disease begins 30 to 50 years before the first symptoms. Chances are all of us are in some form of cognitive decline, but we can begin to change that now by learning how to first use the diaphragm and access the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. Many layers beyond there, but that's the primary layer. And if you don't have that layer, the other ones may not work so well. It's foundation. You want to build your house on the rock. Emotional regulation. Breathwork can assist in managing emotions, promoting a sense of calm and emotional resilience. Absolutely. If you can become aware of your emotions and then start to become aware of your breath, this is in itself a very powerful tool. It's not that you're not supposed to have emotions or anything. You're just not supposed to be led by your emotions. You're not supposed to be an emotionally guided kind of person where everything you feel is what you're reacting to. Understanding that your emotions will come and go, and you want to honor them lovingly, especially the heavy ones. Stuff that feels like crap is great gifts. They're actually great gifts. They help us learn about ourselves. So it's mindset. If you can start taking any challenge in your life and start applying the idea of it's an opportunity with your awareness in your breath, like you're being aware. I'm saying that there's a problem. I have a flat tire. It's a problem. It's an inconvenience. It's this, it's that. I'm saying all these negative things. Your mind starts to believe you. You can become aware that that's happening, and you can, there's your awareness. Next, you'll shift your breath. Taking some breaths, and you're calming yourself down. Extending your exhales, you're breathing in. Extending your exhales, and then you're repurposing your words. You're saying, okay, maybe this is an opportunity. I like to say maybe or perhaps. That way you don't trigger your ego. Don't tell your ego, this is what it is, ego. Then it gets angry and fights back. You say, perhaps. Perhaps this is perfect. Perhaps I got this flat tire because it's keeping me from being somewhere I don't need to be, in the wrong place at the wrong time. Perhaps this flat tire is going to bring me into an experience with another person that brings more beauty into my life. Everything is kind of codependent on each other. If we just go with the story more than resist the story, there's so much more. We're always trying to resist everything. This is bad. This isn't good. And we're usually saying that because we're afraid. It's fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Allow the things that show up in your reality to come and go. Allow them to be there with you, because every single experience that happens, I can tell you this through the experience of my life over the last 5 years, I've started putting my mind into seeing things as opportunities. I don't see it right away always. There's times where I'm in disagreement, and then I go, oh, my awareness comes in. I take control of my breath, and then I start to feed myself new self-talk. Because that's the biggest awareness. What are you saying to yourself, and what are you agreeing to? Change it. Emotional regulation. Here's a big one. Improved lung capacity. Regular breath work exercise contribute to better lung health and increase oxygenation of the body. Well, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? Improve lung capacity. All right, so this goes into one of my friends up here was asking me, Christina Lipker, can you talk more about how you healed your illnesses? So this was kind of the beginning of how I started to heal my illness, was with breath work, okay? And then let me just talk about the last point is mind-body connection. Conscious breathing enhances the awareness of the mind-body connection, fostering holistic well-being. Right. And what does that mean, mind-body connection? It means a neurological, what am I always teaching you? About your neurology, about how your nervous system is your entire reality. Everything you're perceiving happens through your nervous system. So if you can bring coherent energy, movement of energy, thought, if your thoughts and energy and your feelings are in alignment, everything kind of starts to work. So to answer the question, it was how my healing began. Okay, I'll talk about that for you. How you healed your illnesses. All right, so how my healing began. The question was, can you talk more about how you heal your illnesses? All right, so I'll just run through this. I'll try not to take too long. In 2011, I was diagnosed with COPD emphysema. At the time, I had about 5 other symptoms, including arthritis in my hips, that they told me I was probably going to need hip replacements for. That progressively got worse to where it was hard for me just to walk around a grocery store. There's days I couldn't go to work, and then days where it didn't really bother me at all. It would kind of come and go. But the doctor said that that was a degenerative disease and that there was no healing from that. So I had arthritis in my hands and also a little bit my spine, which was starting to bother me. But it was mostly my breathing I started to have problems with breathing. And then that led into like, I was sick all the time. Like I went 7 years essentially, from 2011 to 2018, where I was like perpetually ill. Like I always had a sinus infection. I always had bronchitis. And sometimes it would get really bad. Like I would get like near pneumonia symptoms. It was really bad. And so by the time 2018 rolled around, my lung function got to be very bad. And that was at that point, they kind of let me know like I was starting to enter the 4th stage of COPD emphysema, which is kind of the terminal stage where you're at the end, what they consider terminal, because according to medical doctors, you cannot recover from COPD emphysema. It's an incurable disease. Same with degenerative hip disease, with your hips degenerating. And, I had lots of other stuff. I won't get into all those things. It's mostly, though, the terminal illness and the hips were 2 really powerful things that began to shift quite rapidly. But that was around it was in 2019, after all that has happened. And, I didn't sleep for a couple days because I couldn't breathe. And I was super, super, very much depressed and anxious. I couldn't laugh or cry because taking in a big gasp like that would lead me into a coughing fit. So I couldn't cry. I couldn't laugh. Like none of that worked. I would just start coughing. And it was terrible. So I was just really sad, super sad. Rock bottom, as low as it gets. Now, I already was spiritually awake. I was very spiritually awakened already and had an awareness that I was a spirit having a human body. So I didn't have fear of death. I wasn't like afraid of my death. I did have a question though. And that question came through, and this is really what changed everything for me. And I always tell you, ask your higher mind questions, ask your guidance questions. Don't try to find the answer always. Sometimes just ask the question. And the question arose within me. It was, why should I continue? Because as I laid there, I realized, man, this is just getting worse and worse. I'm struggling. My wife and my daughter are watching me, suffocate to death. And this has got to be terrible for them. And I don't want them to watch this. So I was asking God, just asking my higher self. I said, why should I continue? Why should I continue? I'm going to suffocate to death. I can't think of a good reason why I should continue. And it was in that moment a really powerful thing happened. I had a really strong signal come in from what felt like a angelic being or part of my spiritual guidance. I felt something come in, and what came in, the energy that came in, created a thought, because thoughts are energy forms, and your spiritual guidance can definitely plant thoughts into your awareness. All spirits can. So I had a new thought come into my awareness, and the words that resonated inside of me were perhaps, and like I said, ask your ego in a question. So it asked my ego, it said, perhaps you could think about things more positively. It stumbled me for a second, and then I was like, what? Like, it triggered me. Positive? How the hell am I supposed to be positive when I can't breathe? I can't sleep. I can't cry. I can't laugh. I can't do anything. I'm dying. Wow. And have you seen the world? That was the other thing that came out of me. How am I supposed to be positive? Look at me. And have you seen the world? And then that's another thought came. And then it said, perhaps you don't see the world as it is, and you see the world as you are. I had to sit with that one for a little bit. Perhaps I don't see the world as it is, but I see it as I am. Huh. So I had to sit there and think about that more and more. And I really just let those words kind of ride into me. I don't see it as it is. I see it as I am. It's me. I'm perceiving this reality. And then all of a sudden, I just became vastly aware of my energy field. Like something turned on that I had, or it was always on. And all of a sudden, I just had this strong awareness of something that's always been there. My feeling of energy, everything, or the thing I've been shutting myself off from. And in that moment, the most amazing thing that happened is I became completely acceptant of my reality. All these things I thought that happened to me before there. I always used to say, I was like, I don't know if I have bad luck. I just have weird luck. And like my whole life and everything was always like outlandish, goofy things that always happened to me. Like I didn't ever get like normal colds. I would get like terrible illnesses. I wouldn't have like a normal minor injury. I'd have some sort of catastrophic thing where I fall off a ladder or something. It was always something just really big always happening in my life. So I pretty much, my mind was geared. I believed I was a victim to my reality. Like I didn't realize how deep that ran, but I realized that I thought that I was being punished or something to be here. But what happened in that moment is I became aware that everything's just right. And everything that happened had to happen to bring me there right now to have that realization. Because it was in that moment that I touched heaven. It was in that moment I truly understood what Jesus meant when he said, the kingdom of heaven is within. I feel it in me now. Amen. I became aware. I became aware that I have all the power over how I feel emotionally at that point. I didn't recognize anything else. In that moment, I recognized I have a choice. And in that moment, I already started to begin to heal. I still was sick. I still at that point believed myself to be terminal, but I no longer was in resistance. And I got up out of my bed and I went into the kitchen, and the girls were in there and they knew I was having a hard time, and they were kind of, feeling low for me. I could tell that. And I walked into that kitchen and I could feel my light. It was shining. And I walked into the kitchen and they both just looked at me and they were like mouth agape, whopper jaw. We call that here, about whopper jaw. They were just looking at me and they were really like, just what is going on? What is going on, Dad? What's going on, Tony? I was like, I don't know what to say. The most amazing thing ever happened. It's like I've been touched by God. That's what I told them. I was like, I don't know how else to put it. And I know that sounds crazy. It sounds like manic and crazy. But that's exactly what happened. What happened was I became in contact that moment with Source. Whatever happened to me to get me there was what it took for me to let go and really allow my connection to spirit. I don't believe everyone has to go through such drastic things, but a lot of us do. I'm really stubborn. So that's how it was for me. I had to get terminal illness. So then what happened from there is my spiritual mind started to guide me into more holistic type learning of healing the body. And where that brought me to was studying and the mind. And where that brought me to was studying psychedelics. I began to study psychedelic treatments, for emotional healing. I still had lots of emotional healing to do at that point, but I knew it and I wanted to figure out how. So I started to do lots of research, and that's how it is for me. I research researchers, I research experts, all of them. I don't take one opinion and run with that. I want to see all of them and then form my own. Okay. This is the best way for you to become an expert. If you want to become an expert, study experts. Then you have all the information. Well, studying psychedelics led me to the discovery and understanding of dimethyltryptamine, DMT. And then that led me into breath work, because certain styles of breathing, can pranayama style breathing, and some others I do, can bring a lot of light into the pineal gland and begin to open up the mind and begin to change things. So I was really interested in DMT. And then so I learned that you could access your DMT through your breathing. So I started studying DMT breathing. And then that led me to a guy that started to show me different styles of breath work. And I started to train with him. And as I started to train with him, I could barely do the breathing at first because of the lung disease. But it definitely made me feel better, even though I was struggling with it. But what I noticed, and it wasn't long, it was a couple weeks, within a few weeks, I started to feel a lot different. I could tell the extra oxygen I was bringing into my body was doing something, and my mind was becoming more clear. I was starting to just open and sort of change. And what happened is in the long run, it started to the breath. You would think the breath is what healed my lungs. Well, I'm sure it didn't hurt, but what really happened is my breath started to heal my brain and my nervous system. And this is why I'm so aware and try to teach other people how to work with and attune their nervous system, because it's just so overlooked. And it's the primary connection into source. As I began to heal my nervous system, it was pretty miraculous. My body and the 22 symptoms I had all began to fade drastically. And within about 8 months, I recovered to a point where I could breathe pretty much freely like I do now. I do have minor symptoms. I still produce more sputum or mucus than I think normal. So I have to clear my throat. I have to, blow my nose a few times frequently a day, but that's nothing at all compared to where I couldn't breathe. Anyone that's had lung disease or lung damage or anything like that, it's terrible. Having something as, precious as your breath, this thing that you just overlook all the time, taken away. And what it is it's the key to the mind. Your mind, my thoughts and how I was reacting into my reality is what was creating my illnesses. Now, for most people, that sounds, what? No way, man. This is incurable. Hey, man, you can agree with the doctors all you want. I don't. Right? They don't understand energy. They don't understand the quantum physics of things. They understand what they've been taught through a curriculum, which has been mostly designed by a pharmaceutical company. So don't leave your health in the hands of your doctors. I'm not saying that allopathic medicine doesn't have a place. It does. We need pictures, we need blood tests, we need things like that. But when it comes to helping people, just even cope with chronic illness, it's a miserable fail. And then helping people actually heal, it's a miserable fail. Never tell someone that it's incurable. Don't ever tell me it's impossible. That's your opinion. Anyone that tells you that something's impossible, it's impossible for them. Let them have it. Don't try to convince them otherwise. No, for you, anything's possible. But there's a lot more after that, but that's the primary story. I just wanted to share some of that. Hopefully that covers some of the question. Any further questions I'm open to. Lulu says, I'm so glad Tom introduced me to you guys because you said this already. Thank you, Lulu, by the way. That was Lulu. Lulu gotta go. Love you, Lulu. Tony, do you ever see a spiral in meditation that seems to happen whenever I get real relaxed? Yes. And what I believe that is that you're accessing your double helix, your DNA. I usually so last night in the group we had last night, very powerful people in the group. Like the more energetically tuned and gifted and medicine gifts people have in the group, the more cool stuff comes in. So last night was super cool. There was lots of violet light and lots of spiral types of energy. And those energy, usually when those show up, it brings me into the awareness that we're in the space of, like DNA and cellular reprogramming, which we're capable of doing if we open ourselves up to God to receive it, which we were doing there. Dying to Be Me, book by Anita Murjani. Sounds good. I can't wait to finish my book. It's going to be fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing. I got everything you were explaining. Good. I'm glad. There's a lot to it. I just try to share what I think is pertinent. There's a lot. I mean, my whole connection with God and I'm not Christian, but I have a strong connection with Jesus and the teachings of Jesus, away from, I don't particularly fully agree by any means with any religion. I think all religions contain truths within them, and they're hidden within the parables of their writings. But no religion is all truth, especially anything that's containing fear. If you're supposed to be God-fearing or discriminatory against others, these are things you may want to inspect in your religion. Hey, House can publish your story too. Possibly. I'm working on it right now. I'm just right now in the beginning stages of beginning to assemble the book. I think there's going to be more than one because I think my story is just very vast, especially now in the last 5 years of healing. I mean, I've worked with nearly 70,000 people, 70,000 people in 48 countries. What? That blows my mind. Like, I know that's not something I ever thought would happen. I wasn't a child and said, hey, you know what? When I grow up, I think I want to be a healing shaman. That never happened. I never even believed. I would never have believed you until right now I'm living it all the time beforehand. Even when I was dying in my bed and communicating to angel guides, I had no idea by any means I was going to become a shaman or a priest. I never knew that. But it's a great story. And, we all got great stories, and I love to hear people's great stories. They're fantastic. Fantastic. Does anybody have any questions today about health, nutrition, exercise? These are all things I'm really very much into and have a lot of awareness about. Even like weightlifting, exercise, things like that. I've been a personal trainer since 1999. I'm big into the body, its flexibility, those kinds of things. And then, of course, neurology. Do you have any nervous system things going on or things like that? Reach out to Gaia, too. That's a great idea. Gaia Hay House. Thank you, Alana. Some of the greatest medicine comes out from your friends, Off topic, but I just started oil pulling and noticed improvement in my gum health. That's good. I would say if you're having deteriorating gum health, that's pointing right to your diet. And that's what that is. So then I want to inspect that. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about seeing energy in auras? Yes. Okay. So I've been seeing spirits since I've been about 3 years old. Spirits are energy, is what they are. And another way that I would explain that is that spirits are you. There's no separation. So the way it works for me, I'm very much quantum aligned kind of being. So I understand that everything's one living energy and nothing isn't me, but not the me that's Anthony. Anthony is the ego mind. That's the character I play, the guy with the story and a birthday and all those things. That's not who I truly am. That's the character I get to play here. So that's kind of temporary, but the higher self is eternal. So I've been able to access this part of my awareness. I was about 3, my first memories of this. I was 3, and I started to communicate with spirits that were communicating to me through these Bert and Ernie. So Bert and Ernie are characters from Sesame Street, and I also had a Big Bert down there and a Cookie Monster. And there were these particular portraits on the wall, and they were made out of plastic. They're very textured. And I had a playroom in the basement of our home. We lived in a double home near Cleveland when I was a child, and there was a little playroom down there. And so I would often, these spirits would talk to me, and they would say wonderful things to me. They would play with me. They would talk to me and, help me with my curiosity and things. I understand now because I have the ability now. I can go back into my life, into memories, and instead of remember, I call it, instead of think back, I feel back. And so I can go into the memories and I can feel it as if I'm there, and I can pick up on the things I couldn't before and didn't have the sensitivity to. So at that time, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just a child. I thought this was kind of normal. It didn't feel out of the ordinary. These beings talking to me, and that went on for a while. And then I mentioned it to my mom, and she just kind of laughed it off. Oh, your imagination. It's just your imagination. That's what all parents do, and how we've been trained to ignore our clairsentience. And then it went beyond that, and then I was talking to them more. And I think one day she came down there while I was talking to them, and it made her afraid. My mom is also clairsentient. She doesn't know it though. She kind of does, but she's not developed it or hidden from it. My mother has psychic capability. Lots of things happen growing up. I think she could feel the energy. I remember watching the hair on her arm stand up and her looking at me, and she just like kind of took me by my arm. She didn't like grab me. She like took me by my arm and she took me upstairs. And then she told me that she started to put into my head that this was evil and this was bad. And all of her fears essentially were put into me, when these beings were always the most wonderful, sweetest, nicest things to me. So she told me not to do it anymore, and she scared the shit out of me. She implanted, that was my first interaction at 3 years old, where my mom told me if I continued to talk to these energies, if I continued to allow myself to communicate with these energies, I was going to burn in hell forever. I was 3, mind you. So, whoa, that was a big, scary imprint. Your mom tells you that kind of thing. Holy cow. So I started ignoring them. So I'd be down there playing, and they'd try to communicate with me, and I stopped talking to them, and I just wouldn't say anything. And then, they kind of expressed like they were kind of sad, but they said, we're always here. We're always here, and we know we'll see you later, kind of thing. We're always here. We're always here. They would let me know they're always here. Now, since that time, I would have interactions. Sometimes there was a spirit would show up in my reality, and it would guide me, just like it did that one day when it was an angel that came and talked to me when I was laying in my bed when I was dying and sick. So that would happen all the time. So the vision started there, then it kind of collapsed. I didn't really see too much for a long time. And then it was after the healing, the miraculous healing of my mind and body, my entire clairsentience started to open. So when I talk about seeing energy, it's not so much with these eyes. These eyes are very limited. They can only see a fraction of 1% of the entire electromagnetic field. Whereas the third eye, and then what we call in the Peruvian traditions, the Naui, which are our energetic eyes of our body, those can make a much bigger picture, that the picture's created in the mind, or sometimes I have an overlay kind of vision happening. So it's more of a feeling than a seeing. It's just, I do see, but that's not my primary sense of awareness. My primary sense of awareness is very much the feel. There's a vibration. I can feel it in my body. Sometimes I'm around other people and I can feel their bodily sensations in my body. I can feel their breathing. I can sense their thoughts, if they're heavy, if they're afraid, if they're doubting, whatever's coming up, I can kind of sense those things. And it's a feeling. So I've done that by tuning myself, connecting to things, connecting to the energy around me. As I opened myself up, my spirit guides all came back, and they were just so cheerful and so excited. And from there, they began to teach me. They began to connect me into my spiritual wisdom. So I didn't read books. I didn't have teachers. I didn't have any other experience with spirituality in my life until God or the creation itself started communicating with me again. And it was within that time, it just helped me to remember. And then I was like, I don't know where all this is coming from, but it's amazing. And then what would happen is usually I would get an affirmation. That affirmation would come and say, like, out of nowhere, YouTube would spit out a video by like a spiritual teacher of some sort. You seem to often be Eckhart Tolle and Muji Baba and Sadhguru. These men particularly vibrate in the same frequencies I do. So the things that were coming into me, it led me to them, and they were repeating verbatim the information that was coming into me. So it was like an affirmation, like, oh, well, I'm not crazy. I'm connected to spirit. And that started to open up for me. It continues to grow. My ability to sense and feel and see energy continues to grow as I continue to do the work. Sometimes it grows in big spurts. Sometimes it's really slow. So everything's a wave. But it's all there. It's not like something special to me that only I can do. I am aware that all humans can do this and far more. Reading energy and seeing the auric field or the Pokpo, or feeling it even. Humans have vast capability, and that's why I'm here. Is I want to help people open that up. All right. So hopefully that covers your question, Jacqueline. Thank you. Everyone has a color aura and they all move different. Right. That's true. They're like fingerprints. They also have different patterns, geometry in them. There's a lot that I can read and tell. If I read someone's energy field, I can know generally pretty much all I need to know about them in a few moments. I can figure it out right away. I'll know where your weaknesses are in your thinking. I'll know where you're hiding your unresolved emotional data in your body. All kinds of things like that pop up. Now, I can't use all that information all the time. Some of the information is the client's not ready to hear, or the person you're working with isn't ready to hear. But what it does, it gives me an awareness. So then that way I can call in. It gives this part of me an awareness so I can call in other frequency and energy to help me help them with whatever their problems are. But this is true. Everyone has a Pokpo or a luminous energy field. They're all different colors. They change in color depending on your vibration. So your aura is not consistently the same all the time. It has a like different frequency vibration to it. So different people have different textures, shapes, colors. Definitely the size is way different depending on people, depending on how they're vibrating. People who are really narrow-minded, closed off, and living in a fear-based state. When you're in that fight or flight mode, your bubble pretty much gets skin tight to your body. It's skin tight because right now you're much more particle than wave. Your particle, your meat, your dense meat. This is what you're perceiving. And then as it kind of lightens up, if you go into your breath, you start to move yourself into gratitude, that Pokpo can expand. And then people that are like energy masters and shamans and seers and sages, we learn how to expand our bubble perhaps infinitely for some of us. At least I've seen most people who are like shamanic practitioners and things be able to expand their bubble at least 6 to 12 feet around them. I've seen others, more advanced practitioners, be able to reach what seems to be infinite space. And it's within this energy bubble that you can do it's essentially a container in which for you to do your work. It also it contains all your information. Most people think the soul is somewhere within them. Well, there's nothing actually here. The center point you're calling a body is actually very much hollow, is what it is a projection. Who you truly are and who your soul is in your energy field. That you're actually an energy field before you're a body. So we're moving into a time where people are starting to find out more about that due to quantum physics, that before your meat and bones in a story, your energy. And if we can start to think from there and connect ourselves from there, this will completely change the way that we perceive the world as a species. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nardu. Who's calling me? Let's see. Don't know. Okay, so it's enlightening to come to understand more about energy and then think back to what I felt as a child. So go back and feel back. Go back to when you're a child and any interactions you have, turn on your feeling. Turn on and show up in the third person. That's my other favorite thing. So healing for you to show up, especially where you have traumas. Okay. If you had a tough childhood growing up and you're holding on and there's some bad memories that you just haven't accepted and you're still angry about, they can be anything with an ex-partner, anything. Go back there and go into the third person and watch. Instead of being the person and being the receiver and the victim, you can watch. And then what you'll see is two people who are having an emotional problem, because you do too. We all do. Most of what's caused us pain and suffering in our life is coming directly through our relationship with ourselves. And that's an important part of healing, is understanding, is really being honest with yourself, with the role that you're playing in your own suffering. And most people don't like this answer. It's all of it. Nothing can make you suffer except for your thoughts, except for your thoughts about it. Nothing has ever been unbearable, but your thoughts about it have been, right? And that's what I usually like to tell people. It's like, the problem's never the problem. It's your thoughts about the problem. That's the problem. If you change the way you're thinking, if you can find beauty in everything around you, right? This is what positive thinking is. Positive thinking doesn't mean everything's positive. It means I choose to find the positive in everything that shows up. See, and now this puts you in balance with your energy field. I agree, Faith. Yeah. Has a color aura. Has a color and aura. I love that. Color aura. We should name it that. I want a new word for it. I think aura's boring. Pokpo sounds fun, but it's very indigenous, Peruvian indigenous. But what if we just start calling our luminous field, our field of influence, the color aura? Oh, I like that, Nardu. I think I'm going to say that from now on. Your color aura. Color aura. It's got fractal patterns too. Did I mention that? Lots of fractal patterns. Excuse me. And it holds a lot of information, shitloads of information, more information than I think is understandable by the human mind. Beautiful. Thank you, Jackie V. You're beautiful. I enjoy you very much. I enjoy your energy. Everybody check out Jackie V. She's a proprietor of several nutrition stores, one of them being Old Brooklyn Nutrition, which I don't know if we're going to be there anytime soon, but that's somewhere that we often go to do some of our sessions. Jackie, what's the other ones? Put up some stuff. Put some stuff here. Rep yourself, my friend. I'm always here. I always want to, and that's open to all of you, anyone. I'm here. I want to promote you. I want to promote the community, spiritual community, people of spirit that are out here trying to do wonderful things in the world. So please reach out to me if you would like to, come on. Maybe you want to come on and you want to do a little interview and you can talk about what you're doing. That goes for you too, Jackie B. If you want to come on, I'd love to have you on. You're tons of fun. People just love you. I know I do. You're fantastic. You're all fantastic. And the truth is, I love you all just the way you are. I don't need anyone to change. You change if you want to. I don't need you to change for me. I love you the way you are. But if you want to change, I'm here to help you with that. I'm here to foster that for you. Oh, Brooklyn Nutrition, Middleburg Nutrition, and Ridgeville Nutrition. Thank you. I love you too. Yeah, go check out one of these places. Go get yourself a mega tea. You want to get japped up on some caffeine? Try that out. They also have other things, shakes and stuff. Jackie usually has, unique things in her place. Check it on out. Check it out. I'm sold. I like it. Cool. And if you are so lucky, you may run into Miss Jackie V at one of these places. Jackie's one of them really hardworking kind of people. She's always moving. So, but check out her stores, please. She also has some other things for the ladies. She does some cool things like Twerk Fit and what's the other thing? Can't think of the other word right now. But it's dancing type exercise, really power Zumba. That's it. forms of that. She likes to have a lot of fun doing that. So check her out. I recommend it. Thanks, Jackie. Zumba. I love the word, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of here again tonight. Sacred Water, 7 p.m. We'll be doing a breath sound bath, energy healing kind of thing there. Meditation. So come check us out, 7 p.m. And then we're going to be there again on the 27th, and we're going to be doing a releasing the old and welcoming the new. All right, so that's going to be a release. We're going to release what was. It's going to be like an alchemical kind of transformation experience. And then I have some virtual things coming up on Friday the 15th, guided meditation for abundance and health. So if you would like to bring abundance and health into your reality, if you want to learn how to really connect with that, you want to make it into this guided meditation. So we'll move into there and we're going to work on abundance and health. Health for me is abundance. Okay. Like, I think money is important, especially where we're at now in the current economy and everything. It's just energy, though. I used to really be pitted against it because due to religious kind of connotations, I believe that money is the root of all evil, which is not really true. It's the love of money that is the root of many evils. So I think money is important, but I don't think nothing's more important than your health. And not just your physical health, your 3 layers of health, your mental, emotional, your physical, and your spiritual health. Those 3 things, you have to work on all 3 of them. There's 3 levels of being, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. There's many examples of the Trinity. In our tradition, it's middle, lower, and upper world, which you are a middle, lower, and upper world. You have your lower world, that's your subconscious mind, your unresolved imprints and data and things, the heaviness that we hide from ourselves. And then you have your middle world. This is the awareness of your physical human life. And then you have your upper world, and this is your awareness and connection to your spiritual mind and your higher mind. So there's different ways to kind of look at that. But abundance of health and abundance of just everything. We're going to bring that in. And then on the 17th, we're going to do a guided meditation, meet your spirit animal. So if you're interested in learning more about how to connect with spirit animals, spirit guides, animal guides in your energy field, this is the place for you. We do lots of cool things in there. I'm looking forward to it. Excited for abundance and health. Me too. Those are things I work with quite often, but we're going to go into a nice deep dive in a private little group there. So that's open for everybody. Please excuse me. I want to thank you all so much for being here this morning. Welcome you to come back on Tuesday. I'll be back Tuesday. Next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Will be the next. We have to make it earlier because there's some scheduling conflicts. It's going to be at 2 p.m. and that's the show called SOAR, SOAR, Soar Like a Bird. And then there's an acronym that's been developed for SOAR, and that's Spiritual Odyssey of Awakening and Renewal. And this is co-hosted with my loving mentor, my shamanic mentor, Don Zane Kerfman of the Salkamunai Ayu of the Wild Hearts Medicine Society. And our goal is to come in and start to bring more awareness and teaching about ancient human technologies coupled with modern science. And what it is we're moving into a space of new world mysticism. Not new age, new world, a new world. We're going to be using many forms of energy and light and bringing them together to create a big picture of spiritual enhancement, enlightenment. We will be talking in the next journey directly about spiritual awakening. And that's something I have ready here. I have stages. I have 7 stages of spiritual awakening that we're going to kind of just discuss and go over and then be open to the group to talk about. Zane is a fantastic teacher and a beautiful wealth of knowledge. If you didn't watch the first episode, go check that out. Again, that's called SOAR, SOAR. As for now, The Untethered Man is on hold. Jacob is going through some restructuring with some things that he's doing in his personal practice and things. And we'll come back to that later, or I may change it. But as for now, that's on hold, the Untethered Man series. But make sure to check out SOAR, SOAR, so Spiritual Odyssey of Awakening and Renewal. Come soar with us. And then be sure to check out the events we have. We have lots of events available. Be sure to check out our website. If you have not yet subscribed to YouTube, please do like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and also share. Please share this video. Share this video on your page. Share. Also, donate. We need your help. I need you to donate just a few dollars. If you can donate just a few dollars or more, that would be great, because what that does is that helps us keep everything running and help more people get the healing that they need. The vast majority of people that we help are people that do not have any income, or they're really rock bottom and currently don't have funds or ability to compensate or give us an energy exchange for healing. I'm working in every way I can to create abundance to where I can give as much healing away as I can for free, because that's what I want to do. I want to give it all away for free. But nobody's going to take care of me and my family if I do that. I tried that route for a little while. I tried to use just faith and believe that people are loving enough to donate to help other people, but we're just not there yet as a collective consciousness, and that's okay. Here's the right place to start. Here's the place. If you're receiving energy, if you like what I'm doing here, it's as simple as you go into the description of this show, and then there are several different places for you to donate, or you can visit our website and make a donation. Every little bit counts. You're helping us to change the world, and I thank you. I thank you all so much. Thank you for your generous donations. Let me put that up for you. Help support a mission of healing, make a donation, and thank you for your generous donations. Thank you. So good. Oh, yeah. So that's one other thing. Check out Dr. Sam. If you haven't checked out Dr. Sam yet. Very good. I want to thank everybody for being here at Ask the Shaman. This is a great show. I want you to bring your friends, bring people that have questions about spirituality, metaphysics, spirit, God, creation, all those things. And I'm here to try to shed light. Now, listen, I'm not sitting here telling you I know all the answers. That's not true at all. Spirit does. And together we have the ability to access the highest forms of consciousness available to us. All answers exist in the field. It's the question is the answer. The query, asking the right question. And I'm here to help you find those right questions. I'm here to help you get connected higher into your frequency so that you can start bringing in more and more divine information and intelligence into your life and body. Yes. All right, y'all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful weekend. And I'll be back in a couple days. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining Ask the Shaman.